subscribe and click the notification bell.
Welcome to another episode of our trio. And today on our trio, first, we talking about international bankers. Second, we talking about the Federal Reserve. And third, we talking about what's on money. Our trio, let's go.
Do it, 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 do it.
International bankers. In 1966, Carl Quigley wrote a book titled Tragedy and Hope. And this book basically exposed how money works around the world with democracies and monarchies. And for those of y'all who don't know, a democracy is what we have in America. We elect the officials that are in office. And a monarchy is a system of government that's kind of set up like kings and queens, where they have the power and you're not able to elect who gets the power. But no matter if it's a democracy or monarchy, they both need money. And the international bankers knew that. The Rothschilds, the Morgans, names that's still around to this day. So basically all the international bankers came together and said we can give these countries money in time of emergencies, in time of war. Everyone need money. So the international bankers was okay with giving out the money to these governments. But in return, they wanted control of things. And this is just not an American thing. International bankers lend money to the English, the Germans, the Jews, the French. This is a world banking thing. And with international bankers, it's not about color, it's about control. The key to their success is to control and manipulate the money system of a nation while letting people think the government controls everything. And the international bankers print money out of nothing, meaning they don't have no materials to back the money up. They just print it, lending the governments of the world all this money, and they have to pay them back in interest. Why do you think America is $1 trillion in debt? Who are they in debt to? The international bankers. That's who they in debt to. So I hear everyone talk about why credit is important. But after this video, if you think credit is still important, you just a sheep. And my channel not meant for sheep, so you can go ahead and quit watching and put a thumbs down on the video, do whatever you want to, and keep on continue being a sheep.
Next.
The Federal Reserve. On December the 22nd, 1913, the Federal Reserve was created. And this is not a government institution. This is a private-owned organization. And you might ask, why would the United States government give a private-owned organization the responsibility of controlling the money? Why the government won't control the money? And for a little time, the government did control the money. And there's a few people who tried to go back to how things was, but it didn't end good for them. And the way the Federal Reserve got their power is by using a tactic called pressure from above and pressure from below. Basically, they create a problem, cause a panic, cause the stock market to crash. People will be so scared that they willing to give up some of their rights to get things right. And then the Federal Reserve come in and fix all the problems. And then before you know it, some of your rights got taken away. In 1811, U.S. Congress decided to now renew their charter with the international bankers. The powers that be didn't like that. So the War of 1812 happened. The British come in and burn down the White House, burn down other government buildings until Congress finally decided to renew that charter. So when you go against the Federal Reserve, when you go against international bankers, it doesn't end good for you. And I got a few more examples for you. Abraham Lincoln, James A. Garfield, William McKinley, and John F. Kennedy. What do all these people have in common? They all was presidents, and they all were assassinated because they were trying to go up against the Federal Reserve. They were trying to go up against international bankers. Abraham Lincoln, during the Civil War, he created some money that was called greenbacks that didn't rely on the Federal Reserve to print out money, and it was actually backed up by materials. What happened to Abraham Lincoln? They killed him, and the next president who took his spot got rid of the greenbacks. James A. Garfield, he decided to make money go back to the gold standard, which would take power away from the Federal Reserve and which would take power away from the international bankers. And what did they end up doing with him? Killing him. William McKinley, he decided to make the money go on the silver standard, which was going to take power away from the Federal Reserve and take power away from the international bankers. What did they do? Killed him. John F. Kennedy, he signed Executive Order 11110, in which that was to convert the money over to silver certificates. What did they do? Killed him, because it took power away from the Federal Reserve and the international bankers. And ever since then, I think everyone learned their lesson. No one never ever tried to challenge the Federal Reserve since JFK assassination.
Next.
What's on your money? I know a lot of us spend the money, but do we ever pay attention to what's on it? They hide things right in your face. Now the first thing you would notice is Federal Reserve note, and we already talked about them. And right here, this is what bank ordered the note. So for this bank right here, it was Dallas. And let's go to the back. We're gonna talk about this as well. Now if you notice on the back of a $1 bill, you will see the all seeing eye. Some people call it the all seeing eye guide, or some people call it the eye of providence. And this eye is inside a triangle, a three-sided triangle. And they say it's the eye of God, and the triangle represents the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And the little light that's shining off the eye means holiness. But I'm gonna tell you where they really got it from. Like everything else in America, they stole from Africa. They stole us from Africa, and they stole that eye from Africa as well. That is the eye, or Horus. He was the sky god back in Egyptian time. That is a falcon eye. So they repackaged it and made it be what they wanted to be. Below that eye is a pyramid. They say they use the pyramid to symbolize longevity, that the United States gonna be around for a long time. But it don't take no rocket science to know that they chose that pyramid because it came from Africa. It came from ancient Kemet. It came from Egypt. And if you notice on the pyramid, it got 13 layers. And that's to symbolize the 13 original colonies. And above that, you see the words, Anuis Quaquis. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that is Latin for God has favored our undertakings. And below the pyramid it say, Novus Ortus Seclorum. That is Latin for a new order of ages. And that is the Great Seal. And if you look at the eagle, it uses number 13 a lot as well. It's 13 leaves on the olive branch and 13 arrows on the eagle claws. And 13 stars above the eagle head as well. And above the eagle it reads E pluribus uno. And that is Latin for one of many. Do you ask yourself why they use Latin so much if we speak English here? Now as a lot of us might know or might not know, some of the founding fathers of the United States was Freemasons. And it even spells out Mason on the dollar bill. And on the bottom of the pyramid as well, In Latin, of course, is 1776. That when the United States was started.
Subscribe to the Art Trio channel.